What's going on? Oh, it's the aftermath. Chisora versus Pulev 2. Thanks for tuning in once again. Man, what a close fight. You know, what a close fight and what a great fight. Definitely worth watching. You know, Derek Chisora, any fight with Derek Chisora is always worth watching. You know, he's a guy that always brings the fight. You know, calls himself War Chisora. And that's what he does. You know, every time he comes forward, he doesn't stop swinging. You know, and this was the case here. But this time he came with a lot better head movement. You know, I was very impressed with his head movement. And the body shots, you know, he's challenging a guy that quite arguably is the best jabber in the heavyweight division, you know, the best with the jab, or got a very good jab, which is Pulev. You know, he's got a great jab. And Chisora was able to, you know, use his head movement. And I always say this, you know, the best way to counter a jab is hooks to the body, and that's what Chisora done for the first 6 rounds. You know, he definitely broke down the body and slowed down Pulev to a sense. You know, it was a great fight. It was very close. I think that Chisora, you know, definitely came out firing in the first 2 rounds, as he always does. You know, he always seems to win the first 2 rounds. I gave him the first 2 rounds when he fought Usyk as well. You know, he's definitely a guy that comes, you know, 4 cylinders pumping, let's fight, you know, straight away, you know, and then he ends up sort of getting tired in the later rounds, you know, and this was the case here again. But in this situation, because he slowed down Pulev with the body shots, I believe that took a toll on Pulev, and it allowed Chisora to, you know, definitely keep up with the pace. And most importantly, land the overhand right, you know, his signature punch. This was a key point for him. The overhand right, you know, that was very effective, and that's what basically won him the fight. You know, the effective punches. It was very close, like I said. Pulev, I think, was just unable to land as crisp as he wanted to because of the head movement. You know, the head movement was great from Chisora, something that I'm not used to seeing. But you know, Pulev, I think he should have definitely went for the uppercuts. You know, I noticed that he didn't really throw much uppercuts in the fight. You know, that's what troubled Chisora in the Parker fight. But big props to Chisora, you know, for the winning in great fashion. You know, the fight was very close, but very entertaining. You know, it was definitely a War Chisora fight where they both went to war. And me personally, I gave it to Chisora. You know, I thought that he was the one that was more effective with the power shots. Now, there was a round 7, that Pulev definitely rocked him, pushed him to the back of the ropes, and, you know, got him unstable on his legs. You know, that was Pulev's chance to really just close the show, you know, but then Chisora comes out round 8 and he wins that round, you know. So, I mean, the championship rounds were the ones that really counted in this fight. You know, I believe at round 6 it was pretty much a draw in my books. You know, round 7 I gave to Pulev, and then round 8 onwards was close, but I have to give it to Chisora for the effective punches, you know, the effective hard punches, because you got to understand this, you know, with boxing, effective punches are always number 1. You know, they're always the main thing that I look for personally. You know, every judge is different, but, you know, most judges, you know, to my knowledge, they always look at aggressiveness, effective punches, you know, and that's what Chisora brought in this fight. Although you could say Pulev was a better boxer, we're expecting this, you know. Chisora came with the effective punches, he came with the overhand right, his signature punch, and he came to win, and that's what he done, you know. They both actually came to win, but Chisora, you know, came on top. This was definitely not a, you know, just show up to get a paycheck fight. You know, this was a fight to basically make or break them. You know, Pulev is 42 now, I believe, 41, 42. Chisora, you know, he lost his last fight. He didn't look too good. So this is what Chisora needed, you know, a win at this stage of his career. Now, I believe he's now calling out Deontay Wilder. I believe that he now wants to fight in the US. So I mean, there's a lot of fights there for him. You know, he could possibly fight Charles Martin, Andy Ruiz, you know, obviously Deontay Wilder. So there's a lot of great fights for Chisora, you know. He hasn't fought any of those guys, and I know he's a guy that he wants to end his legacy with fighting everybody. You know, he wants to be the fighter known to fight everybody, walk away from the sport and say, hey, you know what, man, I fought everybody. And that's what he's basically trying to do here. Chisora is definitely a guy that won't turn down any challenges, and I believe that there's a possibility that he might fight Wilder, although I'm not sure if Wilder will work with Eddie Hearn. You know, there's always complications with working with Hearn, but at the same time, you know, Deontay is looking for an opponent, and Chisora is putting his hand up. He's calling him out. So there is a possibility here. You know, there is a possibility that fight could happen. I believe it will be a good fight. I think that Wilder will definitely knock him out, though. But hey, like I say, any Chisora fight is always entertaining. It's always good to see him, you know, just go for the knockout and go for the damage, you know. And this was a perfect strategy for him in this fight. Go for the body, avoid the jab with the head movement, you know, hooks to the body, like I say, hooks to the body to counter the jab. And, you know, he's using that left hand as a rage finder, you know, and obviously the overhand right is what made him win the fight, you know, getting landing continuously on Pulev and rocking him, you know, to the point where the judges are saying, you know what, the overhand right is effective, the power shots are effective, you can see Pulev's getting rocked. Why not give the fight to Chisora, you know, and hey, well deserved. Great win for Chisora. It's about time, you know, he got a win. He's had a lot of close fights. I believe the Usyk fight was also close. But hey, it's good to see Darboy with the win, you know, for what he brings to the fight game. You know, he's always going in there wanting a war and always brings a fight, you know. And I'm happy I watched it. I'm happy that Darboy got the decision. I think the decision was right. I don't really want to see a trilogy, but I don't mind it. You know, I mean, if they have a trilogy, all good. One fight each, but I do want to see Darboy fight, you know, Ruiz, obviously Wilder. You know, I want him to fight everyone like he says he wants to. You know, he's obviously a prize fighter. I believe that the Pulev 3 fight won't be as much of a payday for him. Dillian White 3 will probably be more, you know, if he's looking for a trilogy. But it's the aftermath, man. Thanks for tuning in. Chisora with the win, well deserved, and I look forward to seeing what he does next, you know. And another thing is that he is going to fight again this year. So I mean, he's taking the Joe Joyce route, you know. Just finished the fight. Hey, let's have another one, you know. It's the aftermath. Leave your take on it, man. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to the comments, man. Peace. God bless. Have a good one.